NACADA that just talks about where we are as a country with regard to alcohol and drug abuse. And I just want to bring in, of course, the former NACADA chair, John Mututho, and he's also the managing director of JOMEC, John Mututho Empowerment Center, that is in Nakuru. Thank you, sir, for joining us. I hope you're great tonight. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well, Betty.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on the Empowerment Center. Maybe you can just briefly just talk to us about it. I'm sure you've changed lives in Nakuru with the John Mututho Empowerment Center. How old is it, and also what can you briefly tell us about it before we get started?
We are 8 years old. Mm-hmm. We specialize in empowerment, using medically assisted psychotherapy, or what you call a rehab. Mm. And we are happy. We have had about 4,500 clients with a success rate of 65%. It's called John Mututho Empowerment Center, in short, JOMEC. Mm-hmm. I had to do it that way because as NACADA boss, I did all I could, all that was humanly possible to set up a big rehab that would take care of our youth particularly, and other families. But as it turned out, it was almost impossible, mission impossible. So
mission impossible.
God, why don't you give me strength? Yeah, why don't you give me, I said, God, give me strength to come and try to do what I preach, sobriety. And that's it. As you are aware, there are two parallel things that you do if you want to do complete control of alcoholism and drugs menace in the country or any place. Number one is supply suppression. That's police work. Number two, which is very effective, is demand reduction. Treatment and rehabilitation is actually demand reduction. You target the clients. While levies and drug users and abusers are my family. So that's how we do at JOMEC. Wow. We are just on the main highway opposite STEM Hotel, next to the game park. Okay. And we are happy here. We are the biggest in Africa currently, and we are happy. We are
all
good.
Right. Congratulations on that. I mean, you're of course doing, something at least to help this scourge. I want to bring you up to speed with some numbers, and I don't know, kama vile uliacha NACADA or being at the forefront, these numbers were the same, and how you feel about them. Let me just mention, not all of them, but just a few. So these are the drugs most consumed in Kenyan universities. Let's even just start from the universities. So of course there's alcohol, which is at 87.3%. Former chair, there's cigarettes, 64%. Shisha, 41%. There's vape. I don't know if you left the vapes, before you left office, at 31%. Nicotine pouches, 30%. Kuber, among Kenyan universities, 23%, and then chewed tobacco, 22.1%. But then now there's an interesting twist, sir. There's narcotic drugs that are now being used, and I want to hear from you whether the situation was worse before you left or now it's worse. Smoked cannabis, 61%. Cannabis edibles, we have 47%. And we have cocaine, 15.1%. Heroin, 14.3%. Yeah, of course the graphics on the screen just show these particular numbers. My goodness. And of course there's others. Now there are weed cookies, now there's weed mabuyu. Sijui kama umesikia hiyo. Alafu there's weed lollipops. Yani unaona mtu na chew lollipop hivi kumbe ni ako level lingine. And of course there's now the weed juice. I don't know, what do you feel first about yani kuna inventions after inventions, and also the introduction of now the narcotic drugs zimeshafika, and we're talking about 15% and 14% of these hard drugs. Can you hear me?
I lost you. Okay, now you are on.
Yes. So just going by those numbers and the shocking statistics with regard to the drugs that were there and some are not, how do you feel about the situation since you left office? How do you feel we were, in the position where we are right now as a country?
Actually, the situation is much worse than they are publishing there. I think they are moderating that for the sake of public consumption, but to me, the situation is much worse. The truth is, over 90% of students, both at college level and university, are using or abusing one form of drug or substance or another. But the most shocking thing is that the strategies which we are adopting as a nation are not good. It's not good at all, because look at the budget this year. Take special interest on NACADA and check what is their budget level. It is just peanuts. And I think you not even hear it, or even on the floor of the House, when they are debating about the budget this year. This is 2025, 2026. The last time alcohol was discussed substantively was during the late Mwai Kibaki's era, 2010, 2011, when on paragraph 50 of that budget speech, they allocated 1 billion shillings to NACADA, specifically to implement what they called, and I liked it, the wonderful Mututho laws.
Yes, we remember them.
The years thereafter have been a total shame in terms of budgetary allocations. In actual fact, today's NACADA has very qualified people. Very, very qualified. I know them by name, having worked with them and following them. Very qualified. Super people. You can't get such a combination anywhere on the planet Earth. But they are underfunded. They don't have vehicles. You find a county like Nakuru with 2.5 million people. We have about 2 or 3 officers. How can they do it? How can they implement their policies, their own policies? In actual fact, gradually they have reduced NACADA to be like that wonderful retro dog called Chiwawa.
A Chihuahua.
Beautiful though, but
very cute.
What you need is a bulldog, like in our time, when you can take anybody on. Of course, we understand the government cares about its people. And even when we are doing these politics about SHA or NHIF and the rest of it, let it be known that under SHA, if you are a bona fide rehab, SHA cards are acceptable, like we are, unacceptable. And they have also a paragraph they have inserted there, which is very good, that should a Mrevi or somebody drop by your gate, don't allow them to die, but go ahead and save lives. And they have a mechanism to come and honor that invoice. Those are some of the good things I don't hear about in the media or other places. Then they also have other provisions there where you can also handle the underlying conditions. Like if somebody is hypertensive, is having a liver condition, it's not part of the rehabilitation package. So that means they are moving on well. If they could only improve on the 67,000, maybe to something like 120,000, then we are good.
Right.
And every Kenyan can have a facility, can be attended. That aside, why are ladies taking more alcohol than men? Both at campus level and even social level. Let me be very polite, like a grandfather, like a father, and say this. Young men don't socialize well with ladies these days. A few of them, of course, specialize in making single mothers. But these ladies are left with a very huge burden. you will remember that the culture of saving in Kenya was actually fortified by the ladies with their chamas. And that is where SACCOs have evolved from. Now it is common knowledge that SACCOs are having their own challenges. It's there all over, in government documents and all over. So you find the most hate are the same ladies. They are hate by their husbands, they are hate by the SACCOs, they are hate by the environment. And then we have these men who have this weird habit of socializing with other men instead of socializing with ladies, ending up in femicides. So the ladies are left like orphans in their own land. And as they are sulking about, talking about, they are taking too much alcohol. Now, what is the government doing towards that? To me, it's nothing. They are not doing nothing. Doing demonstrations does not solve the problem. But coming down to the root cause of these issues, why are ladies getting frustrated? Why do they want to take one or two muzingas by themselves? I saw it in Ukraine one time when I was studying. When I was studying in preparation for Mututho laws, I went to Ukraine, and I saw two young ladies take a whole 750 mils of vodka.
What?
And by the way, you recall it was in this station that I told the world that in Kenya you don't have genuine vodka.
Yes, I remember you said that. Yes,
it's just a concoction.
Is it still the same? Has anything changed about that?
I've been waiting. Nothing. And if it has changed, that anybody who is selling vodka, tell me where they sell it from. I send somebody there, they will buy. And then I'll do the analysis. I look for about 813 elements that make that particular drink. And I'm really saying the same thing here today. Even this Changa people talk about, or Mama Pima are talking about these days, it's not alcohol again. It is much better when they were having the industrial alcohol from Huloni and from other places, or from South Africa. Now, what they are calling alcohol is actually hard drugs diluted in water and at times colored. And that's why they are able to sell at Kikombe something like 30 bob, 20 shillings, and so forth and so on.
Yes.
I want to tell Kenyans appreciating TV 47 that this is an emergency. We are in danger. The poor are taking substances, including the dreaded fentanyl and cofentanyl. And they take a tablet, dissolve it in water, then within minutes, they are ready to sell at a rate of 50 shillings, like I'm saying, 30 shillings, 20 shillings, 50 shillings. The tablet itself will be costing about 50 shillings. So it's very high profit.
Right.
And I want to challenge the people who are in this industry, the alcohol industry. For once, be honest. See Bwana KRA and declare exactly how that trade is.
Right.
Kenya would have more than 1.3 trillion in revenue from KRA. And that 1.3 trillion would help in treating the masses now who are suffering from liver cirrhosis and who are suffering. We'll try to make the families that are breaking and so forth and so on.
Right. Let me just jump in there.
You asked me a question, Betty.
Yes. So I just want to jump in there.
Is it any better now? I'm telling you, it's worse. And I would encourage NACADA to print the actual story. Publish the actual story. Tell us how many Kenyans are dying per year because of these things. My estimate, and I have proof, is between 50 and 100,000 people. They die annually. This is much, much higher than the road accidents. So why don't we incorporate all these thinkings into a workable program? Why don't we strengthen NACADA? Have men and women do what they are supposed to do, and they control alcoholism and drug abuse like we did in our time.
Let me ask you a question, sir. If I can just
to do it.
Yes. Yeah. If I can just jump in there, I mean, why do you think the government is not really, putting so much pressure on this? You're saying NACADA is underfunded. There are all these, rising numbers. Why isn't it taking it so seriously, considering, the number of young people in universities who are now, completely immersed in alcohol and drug abuse?
Can I say it, Betty? Loud and clear for the world to hear. That what the parliament needs to do now is have a commission of inquiry. Who are the alcohol masters and drug masters? Are they people in the civil service? Are they the same bosses who are supposed to protect us? I attended the Mount Kenya area meeting at Nyeri. And all the administrators did show up there. And it was shocking for when they revealed who is the actual person who supplies all the alcohol in Mount Kenya area. I'm also aware that one of the former directors of my good place NACADA is a general manager in a alcohol distributing company. That's not good. So what we need is now an inquiry, a public inquest, so that we can know who is this supplying 80% of bad alcohol to poor Kenyans. Who is this supplying drugs which are dissolved in small jerrycans and then called alcohol? And there's nothing OH there. It is pure drugs. Who is this so strong that is able to influence the funding of NACADA so that they are defunded and are established? How come up until now, from 2010, when Mututho laws came to force, they have never put in place what was envisaged, an enforcement unit dedicated to do alcohol?
Right.
How come up until now, from 2010, we have not had regulations on quality of alcohol, so that a good person, I'm not telling them not to drink, it's their choice, let them drink to entertain themselves, but let them drink alcohol. Like the good old thing called buza. You know buza? If you get good maize, good wimbi, you make your kangala and so forth and so on, then you make your changa pure, using a good mama pima who knows what it's all about, that's good alcohol. Nobody dies out of that. What kills Kenyans is when you introduce methanol and other products inside that whole concoction. When you start bringing things which are unethical, like molasses and other things as part of the ingredients in the brewing, that is what brings everything to a sudden halt.
All right.
And that is what is hurting Kenyans. That is what is killing the students. That is what's messing us. Professors, please, the team that was doing the research, I am sure got the figures right, because they are very, very educated. The sampling procedure was good, but let us have the true picture. It's much higher. It's over 90%. All
right. Just to bring this message home, of course, as we wait for the government, to maybe wake up and do something, with regard to helping, this scourge. What can we do, in our own communities as sisters, brothers, as husbands, partners, parents? Because, you mentioned, women are out here, going through all these things, they indulge in all these things. Of course, you have students who are battling so many things, including depression, mental health. Before we wait for, mkono wa serikali, what is it that, we can do in our communities just to ensure that we can help the situation? Because also rehab centers are not also, available to a lot of Kenyans, We've seen so many fundraisers being done online. Sure. So how do we move forward, even just on our own, before we wait for, the bigger picture from the government?
From where I sit or from where I work, I do two things. First one is course treatment as per the protocol. Number two, I offer free service free advisory service. Today we had a wonderful team from Nyandarua National Polytechnic. Lots of students came and we spent a whole day with them. The other day we had Maseno University. We have had Egerton University. We have had Mount Kenya University. We have had all kind of groups. These are people who are devoted out there at the university level to educate their friends, their peers, on the dangers they face if they continue taking alcohol or taking drugs. If we can repeat this many, many times, and personally, I'll tell you better, and TV 47 is my friend. If they can help me, I can have free counseling, free strategy offered by me from this center, John Mututho Empowerment Center, every day of the week, every day of the week, and hope those people in Turkana, those people in Kirinyaga, those people there are getting real skills on how to identify somebody with a problem, how to deal with the problem, and they are able to see what happens. Luckily these days there's TV 47, and then there's also all the other social media enterprises. Everything that we do here is not commercial. Like today, those people who are here, we are not charging them. Yeah, not that we don't like to, we not like to earn, but we, at the moment, as a matter of urgency, need to offer free service to people who can hear, people who can listen, to a small group of people in universities who are going to be champions in their own, without pay out there. If the principals, if the directors, if chancellors can contact us, 0774 514 635. That is Jomek.
All right.
Or you can contact me directly, and I'm not embarrassed to mention my to state my name, my number, as long as someone does not call me for pre-wedding and things like that. but to call me on how I can help. 0722 514 635. Let us have those organized groups. I can also visit them. I will not even charge you a penny for you to come for wherever you come.
Okay.
Because I believe in that service to mankind is service to God.
Absolutely. All right.
Mambo mbaya.
Well, thank you very much, John Mututho there. I don't know if you just have like a very brief, like a 1 minute just conclusion and just a message to, to just Kenyans in general, because you're really worried about the quality of, liquor, that is out there. Maybe just because that's another weekend, only Friday. But this weekend, let them hear something at least from me before they get it going down.
I repeat it live here that we don't have genuine vodka.
Is it just vodka or everything else?
That what you are, everything else, they are not genuine. Few rich people can afford to import good stuff. But majority of Kenyans, most of you, over 85%, are drinking poison. There is no difference between what Mama Pima is selling in Kibera, in Sabah, and what you are calling 26 years old vintage wine. It's nothing. It is just that bad alcohol, which is actually supposed to be called rum, with a bit of caramel to add the color, a bit of flavor, and then you cheat everybody. I really sympathize with the ladies. They say, I'm going to have a glass of wine. That glass of wine is actually the same Mama Pima and other Mlevi are having downtown. It is nothing. And if you are doubting it, just take that one home, go to any civilized lab, and let it be told what is it you are buying, you are taking. My final take. Wow. Kenya is our country.
Hey.
These are our children. These are our ladies having a problem.
Yes.
I would ask my friend, President Luto, not his deputy, not the cabinet. You have a problem.
All right.
You have a problem.
Okay.
Iko shida kubwa. I'm prepared to help you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And 3 months are enough for me because I know where the crooks live, how they sleep, and how they wake up. And God has given me health.
Okay.
And my brain is super functional.
Super functional. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hakuna fitina, hakuna siasa. 3 months, 6 months, maximum 1 year, we are good to go.
We're good to
Those
go.
ones selling alcohol should sell alcohol. But sale of poison should not be allowed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, John Mututho, for your wise words. I think it's upon us to be more cautious. But of course, we hope also the government can really step in and empower, campaigns like NACADA. But as you've heard from John Mututho, he's ready to work. He's ready to work. He says, give me 3 months and things are going to change, because really the numbers are really shocking. But we really appreciate your participation and contribution tonight here on the show. All right, so listen up. So before we wrap up the show, there's of course a developing story that is currently ongoing, and that is a fire that, a wildfire actually,